Sarah's scream echoed through the empty parking garage as she crumpled to the concrete. Her leg, she couldn't even look at it. The angle was wrong. Everything was wrong. "You should have kept your mouth shut," Officer Marcus Chen said, standing over her. His partner, Officer Blake Morrison, leaned against their patrol car, arms crossed, watching. Her phone had skidded 3 feet away when she fell. Sarah dragged herself toward it, every inch agony. "Where you going, sweetheart?" Marcus crouched down, his badge glinting in the fluorescent light. "Nobody's coming to save you." "We are the law." Her fingers closed around the phone. Through tears and blinding pain, Sarah opened her messages. She needed to text her roommate, Jessica. 911 wouldn't work. These men were 911. "Jessica, help." Parking garage. "Level 3. Officer broke my leg. Hurry." She hit send. 3 seconds later, her phone buzzed. "Address now." That wasn't Jessica's response. Sarah's vision blurred as she looked at the number. Wrong contact. Her thumb had slipped. She'd texted, "Who?" Another message came through. "Sarah, send me the address right now." Her blood ran cold. This person knew her name. How did they? Then her phone rang. Unknown number. With shaking hands, she answered. "Downtown Plaza, Level 3, East Wing," she whispered. The voice on the other end was ice and fury. "Don't move. Don't talk. Don't let them take you anywhere. I'm 12 minutes away." "Who?" "It's Vincent." "Your brother." "And Sarah?" His voice dropped to something that made her childhood memories of him seem tame. "Those cops are already dead. They just don't know it yet." The line went dead. "If you want to see how this ends, you better subscribe. Because this story is about to get wild." Sarah hadn't spoken to Vincent in 8 years. Not since their mother's funeral. Not since he'd looked across the casket and said, "You go live your clean life, little sister. But don't ever call me when it gets dirty." She'd chosen law school. He'd chosen something else. Their father had been a cop. A good one. He'd died in the line of duty when Sarah was 9 and Vincent was 17. After that, Vincent changed. He stopped believing in the system. Stopped believing justice could come from a courtroom or a badge. By the time Vincent turned 21, rumors followed him like shadows. The Castellano family, underground operations, power that made politicians nervous. Sarah became a civil rights attorney. She defended the people the system failed. She wanted to honor their father's memory the right way. Vincent built an empire in the dark spaces where the law didn't reach. They were opposites. Fire and ice, right and wrong. Except now, bleeding on a parking garage floor with 2 corrupt cops standing over her. Sarah realized something. Right and wrong weren't as clear as her law books had promised. Marcus grabbed Sarah's phone from her hand. "Who'd you call?" My roommate," Sarah gasped. Blake pushed off the patrol car and walked over. "We need to move her. Take her somewhere quiet. Make this look like an accident." "What about her car?" "We'll torch it. Make it look like she crashed, burned. Medical examiner will rule it accidental. We've done it before." Sarah's mind raced. They'd done this before. How many people had these officers, these murderers in uniform, killed? It had started 3 weeks ago. Sarah was working late at the legal aid office when she'd stumbled upon files, financial records, payments from the evidence locker to offshore accounts. She'd traced them back to precinct. 47, officers, Marcus, Chen and Blake Morrison. They were stealing drug money, reselling confiscated weapons. They'd built their own criminal enterprise behind their badges. Sarah had been gathering evidence, building a case. She was going to expose them. Somehow they'd found out. "Help me get her up," Marcus said. That's when they heard it. Engines, multiple vehicles, moving fast. The screech of tires echoed through the parking. Garage like a symphony of violence, about to begin. Blake's hand went to his gun. "What the?" 3 black SUVs came around the corner, moving in perfect formation. They didn't slow down. They surrounded the area, blocking every exit. Doors opened. Men stepped out. 8 of them. Expensive suits, expensive watches, expressions that said they'd seen death so many times it bored them. And then he stepped out. Vincent Castellano. Sarah hadn't seen her brother in 8 years, but he looked different, harder, more dangerous. His suit probably cost more than her car. His eyes were colder than she remembered. He looked at Sarah on the ground, at her twisted leg, at the tears on her face. Then he looked at the two officers. "Gentlemen," Vincent said, his voice conversational, almost friendly, "I believe you've made a mistake." Marcus recovered first. He pulled his badge. "I don't know who you think you are, but this is police business. You need to leave, now." Vincent smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "Police business." He said it like he was tasting something rotten. "That's interesting. See that woman on the ground? That's my sister. And from where I'm standing, it looks like you broke her leg." Blake's hand tightened on his gun. "We're officers of the law. You're interfering with—" "With what?" Vincent took a step forward. His men fanned out, 8 wolves circling 2 prey animals in police uniforms. "With corruption? With assault? With attempted murder?" Sarah watched her brother transform. This wasn't the Vincent who'd taught her to ride a bike. This wasn't the Vincent who'd scared away her first boyfriend. This was someone else. Someone terrifying. "You don't understand who you're dealing with," Marcus said, but his voice shook. "Oh, I know exactly who I'm dealing with." Vincent pulled out his phone. He tapped the screen a few times, then turned it toward the officers. "Marcus Chen, Blake Morrison, Precinct 47. 17 complaints filed against you. All mysteriously dismissed. 3 witnesses who were going to testify against you who died in accidents." He pocketed his phone. "You thought my sister would be number 4. The temperature in the parking garage seemed to drop 20 degrees. Here's what's going to happen," Vincent continued. "My men are going to take my sister to a hospital. A real hospital. Not one where you have friends who'll finish what you started. And you two," he paused, "you're going to come with me." "We're not going anywhere," Blake said, finally drawing his gun. "We're cops. You can't touch us." Vincent laughed. Actually laughed. "Can't touch you? Oh, Blake, sweet, stupid Blake. Do you know how many cops are on my payroll? Do you know how many judges owe me favors? Do you know how many times I've made problems disappear?" He took another step closer. "But here's the thing. I don't want to make you disappear. That would be too easy, too clean. No, what I want is for you to understand something. You hurt my blood, and there's no badge in the world that protects you from that. Hit that like button if you're Team Vincent right now." "Vincent, don't—" Sarah tried to speak, but pain cut her words short. Her brother's expression softened for just a moment as he looked at her. "I got you, Sarbear. Just hold on." He snapped his fingers. 2 of his men immediately moved to Sarah, lifting her with surprising gentleness. One of them produced a medical kit from somewhere. "Boss, we've got a compound fracture," the man said. "She needs surgery." "Then get her to Dr. Martinez now." As they carried Sarah toward one of the SUVs, she caught Vincent's arm. "Don't kill them." He looked at her like she'd spoken a foreign language. "Sarah, I know what you are. I know what you do. But don't kill them. Not for me." She gritted her teeth against the pain. "I have evidence, files, everything they've done. We can expose them, legally, the right way." Vincent's jaw tightened. "The right way? Sis, they were about to murder you and make it look like an accident. You think the right way works against people like this? It has to." Tears streamed down her face. Dad believed in the system. He died believing in it. "I have to believe—" "Dad was wrong," Vincent's voice cracked. He died believing in a system that didn't protect him. That didn't give a damn about him. And you almost died the same way. The parking garage went silent. Vincent took a breath. When he spoke again, his voice was controlled. "But you're my sister. And if you want them alive, then they'll stay alive." He looked back at Marcus and Blake. "You two just got the luckiest break of your miserable lives. My sister believes in justice. Me, I believe in something simpler." His men moved in. Marcus and Blake tried to resist, but it was like children fighting adults. Within seconds, both officers were on their knees, arms pulled behind their backs. "Here's what's going to happen," Vincent said. "My sister has files, evidence, everything you've done. And tomorrow morning, those files are going to the FBI, the state attorney general, and every news outlet in the city." Blake's face went pale. "You can't—" "I can and I will. But here's the thing, you're going to confess. To everything. Every crime, every murder, every dirty dollar. You're going to sing so loud and so clear that there's no lawyer in the world who can save you." "And if we don't?" Marcus asked. Vincent smiled that terrible smile again. then my sister's compassion doesn't apply anymore. And I'll show you what happens to people who hurt my family. Sarah was in the SUV now, leg stabilized, pain medication kicking in. But she could hear everything through the open door. "Vincent," she called out. "Let me talk to them." Her brother looked surprised, but nodded. He helped her out of the vehicle, supporting her weight. Sarah faced the two officers on their knees. 3 weeks ago, I found your files, she said. Her voice steady despite the pain. I was going to report you. Build a case. Do it by the book. But then you found out, didn't you? And your first instinct wasn't to run, wasn't to face justice, it was to kill me. Marcus looked at the ground. Blake said nothing. My father was a cop, Sarah continued. Officer James Castellano. He died 15 years ago, killed trying to stop a robbery. He believed cops were heroes. He believed in honor, in service, in protecting people. She leaned forward, forcing them to look at her. You spit on everything he stood for. You took an oath to protect and serve, and you used it to prey on people. You're worse than criminals. You're betrayers. So what do you want? Marcus finally asked. You want us to beg? No, Sarah said. I want you to choose. My brother will let you go right now. Walk away. But tomorrow, the evidence goes public. You'll be arrested, tried, convicted. You'll spend the rest of your lives in prison with the people you put there. And they'll know exactly who you are. Blake's eyes widened with fear. Corrupt cops didn't last long in prison. Or, Sarah continued, you confess tonight. Full confession. Every crime, every victim. And you testify against everyone else involved. I know you're not working alone. There are others in your precinct. In the department. Give them up and I'll make sure the DA knows you cooperated. That's still life in prison, Blake said. Yes, Sarah agreed. But it's also a chance to do one thing right. To save future victims. To maybe possibly find some scrap of redemption. Vincent stepped closer. Clock's ticking, gentlemen. My sister's giving you mercy, I wouldn't. What's it gonna be? The two officers looked at each other. Sarah could see the calculation in their eyes. Prison versus death. Confession versus silence. Finally, Marcus spoke. What guarantee do we have? My word, Sarah said. And despite everything, my word means something. Another long pause. Then Blake nodded. I'll confess everything. Names, dates, amounts. All of it. Marcus took longer, but eventually he nodded too. The next morning, the story broke across every news channel. Corruption scandal rocks Precinct 47. 2 officers in custody. Full confessions. Investigation expanding. Sarah watched from her hospital bed, leg in a cast, pain medication making everything slightly fuzzy. Vincent sat in the chair beside her, looking out of place in a hospital room in his expensive suit. 12 officers arrested so far, he said, scrolling through his phone, including a captain and 2 lieutenants. Your evidence plus their confessions. You brought down an entire network, Sar. We brought it down, Sarah corrected. If you hadn't shown up, I'll always show up, Vincent interrupted. That's what family does. Silence settled between them. 8 years of distance. 8 years of different paths. I'm not a good man, Sarah, Vincent finally said. I've done things that would horrify you. I've hurt people. I've broken laws. I'm everything Dad fought against. I know. But when I got your text, he looked at her and for a moment she saw her brother again, the real one beneath the armor. I would have burned that city down to get to you. Badge or no badge, law or no law, nothing would have stopped me. Sarah reached for his hand. You saved my life. You saved theirs, Vincent said. I would have killed them, Sarah, slowly. I wanted to. Part of me still does. I know that too. So where does that leave us? Vincent asked. You're a lawyer. I'm what I am. We live in different worlds. Sarah squeezed his hand. We live in the same world, Vin. We just walk different paths in it. But we're still family. We're still us. A knock on the door interrupted them. A woman in an FBI jacket stood there. Miss Castellano? I'm Special Agent Rodriguez. I need to ask you some questions about your evidence. Sarah nodded. Of course. Agent Rodriguez glanced at Vincent. Perhaps we could speak privately? He can stay, Sarah said firmly. He's my brother. Vincent stood. It's okay, Sar. I'll wait outside. He paused at the door, looked back. I'm proud of you. Dad would be too. Then he was gone. 6 months later, Sarah stood outside the courthouse. The trial had lasted 3 months. All 12 officers convicted. Marcus Chen and Blake Morrison got reduced sentences for their cooperation, but they'd still spend 20 years behind bars. Her leg had healed. She barely limped now. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Coffee? There's a place on 5th Street. Neutral ground. No business. Just brother and sister." Sarah smiled. "I'll be there in 20 minutes," she typed back. As she walked toward her car, a reporter called out, "Miss Castellano, you've become a symbol for police reform." "What's next for you?" Sarah paused. "What's next is continued work. This wasn't about me. This was about justice. Real justice. And there's still a lot of work to do." "And your brother?" "There are rumors about his connections. How do you reconcile his lifestyle with your work?" Sarah thought about that night in the parking garage, about the choice Vincent gave her, about family and honor and the complicated space between right and wrong. "My brother and I have our differences," she said carefully. "But we agree on one thing. Family protects family. And sometimes that's enough." She got in her car and drove toward 5th Street, toward coffee with her brother, toward a future, where they both existed in their separate worlds, but remained connected by something stronger than law or loyalty: blood.